Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths." This verse and the implications of it and even examples of it have really been resounding within me a lot lately. What does it actually mean to lean not on your own understanding? I think this is something that I thought of in a general sense years ago, but as these last few years have passed, God has been showing me more and more and more what that looks like. He points out times when I am leaning on my own understanding and shows me the shift that I need to make to lean on His understanding. Remember that Isaiah, I can't remember which verse, also says that God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So often leaning on His understanding means trusting in a God whose thoughts are higher than ours. It means leaning on an understanding that we can't understand. That's why the verse starts out with trusting in Him, because we have to trust in who He is when we don't have the ability to comprehend His thoughts. So what does that actually look like? I remember one of the biggest lessons that God gave me first. This was a time period when one of my kids was job hunting, and there was a job opportunity that seemed, to my understanding, to be excellent. And so I really wanted my child to get the job. I prayed for them to get the job. But of course, I also, knowing that my understanding was incomplete, I said, "But Lord, if this job isn't from you, if this wouldn't be good for my child, then please stop it. Don't let it happen." They actually got an interview or were under consideration in some way, shape, or form, and the company decided against moving any farther. My response was to be disappointed, really disappointed. And God convicted me of that disappointment. He said, "Didn't you ask me to make the job not happen if I knew it wasn't good for them?" And I said, "Yes, Lord." And I realized in that moment that my disappointment was a reflection of how much I was leaning on my own understanding. I still thought that I knew best and that that job would be great for them. That's why I was so disappointed. Instead of rejoicing that because they didn't get the job, that meant God had spared them from something that was not good for them. And suddenly I realized how often I did that kind of thing. I said that I wanted God's will. I said that I trusted God. But when it came right down to it, my emotions were showing me otherwise. Because if I truly trusted God in that particular situation, then my emotions would be reflecting that trust in His higher thoughts and greater knowledge, instead of my emotions being discouraged or upset because I was leaning on my own understanding.